What's up, everybody? And we're back this time for a Week 12 breakdown of the Draftkings slate. If you enjoy the content, give the video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Tell me the plays you're on this week. Tell me the plays you're off. I like going back and forth with you guys. I always feel like we have better weeks as a whole here when we have a dialogue up until kickoff. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Um, Interesting week here. I think there's like three games that are really interesting, and I think there's something to watch this weekend, guys. If you're not from the East Coast, I'm sorry, I just gotta fix my hair. It's just not looking good. If you're not from the East Coast, there's a lot of bad weather projected on Sunday. A lot of rain and wind, mostly rain. So just like we're gonna get to the Jets game, talk about that. That was a game I've really liked before be looking at the slate at first. Now I don't know if I like that game. Um, just tough, man. This is a little bit of a you know, it's a little bit of a tricky slate after you pick the game you want to kind of key in on. So let's just get right into it. Like always, man. I don't want to waste you guys' time. I felt like there was something I wanted to touch base on with the NFL. Yeah, we'll get into there is something, but we'll get into that once the video starts. So the first game we got here is Tampa Bay at Atlanta. The big thing to watch in this game, guys, is this Atlanta defense going to keep this going? I feel like no one's going to play them on DraftKings. I feel they're 3,500. Jameis Winston loves throwing picks, man. I mean, he loves to throw interceptions, but this game could also be a shootout. I'm not so sure I buy into the Atlanta defense. It's not like Brandon Allen's a world beater. Kyle Allen's a world beater quarterback. I'm telling you right now, man. I'm looking at the ownership projections right now. The Atlanta Falcons are 1% owned on DraftKings. The defense. That is an interesting play. I didn't even see that till just now, but I wrote them down. On the Tampa Bay side, man, I'm gonna if I play anything here, I'm gonna be more on Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and I don't feel great about it. I don't have a problem with Evans here. It's just this Atlanta defense gets killed more by like possession receivers. Like Michael Thomas just had a big game against him. DJ Moore had a pretty good game against him. You could make the argument that those guys were playing on the perimeter, so you want Evans, but the angle I kind of see it as traditionally with Atlanta is they kind of get beat more with like intermediate to short area of the field receivers. They really don't. Even when Will Fuller beat him up, he mainly beat him up on shorter routes. He didn't beat him up like over the top. So like when you play Evans, those are obviously the plays you want. Evans is a really good receiver, but you want those vertical downfield passes. So I'm gonna key in on Godwin here if I'm playing anything on Tampa. On the Falcons, guys, I would lock in Julio Jones this week. I just have a feeling that Julio's gonna have an eruption game here. He kills Tampa Bay traditionally. Just I saw a stat on Twitter like Julio Jones games like going. It was a kind of a weird stat. It was like when Julio goes 7 consecutive games without scoring a touchdown. Here are his following stat lines, and it was just boom, 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 boom. It was like one dud in there. So I like Julio over Ridley. I know I originally said Ridley, but after thinking about it a little bit more, I'd rather just pay up the extra 1,500 and just feel better about Julio hitting his ceiling. He is projected to be the highest owned receiver on the slate, but that's fine. It's for good reason. He's a good play. I wouldn't hate anyone pivoting to Ridley. I'm not going to talk you off it, but what I like doing here, if you want to get more piece of Atlanta, I like going Julio Russell Gage. Russell Gage should have had a 15-point game. He should have had a touchdown catch. That was a BS call that they didn't give him that touchdown catch. So I like Gage here. I'm not going to Graham, the tight end. I'm not going to stop you from playing him. He's probably not going to be someone that I'm on this week. If he fell into a lineup, whatever. I mean, with Graham, I just think you're trying to get like 3 for 30 and a touchdown at 3,300. I think you'd be happy with that. But is that going to be enough to win a tournament? Not sure, man. Probably going to go more Gage than Graham, but you never know. So I like mainly Julio on that side. And like I said, guys, that Atlanta defense at 3,500 is sneaky. The only problem I do kind of have with that is, like I just mentioned with the rain and the East Coast games, that might be a good spot to get a cheap defense. It might be a good idea to get a defense playing in the rain. We do know turnovers happen a lot. Defense is tough this week. I'm not going to lie, guys. There's a lot of there's not a clear play for me at defense. It's probably one of the things in DFS that I'm just not very I don't really feel great about is picking defense every week, and I kind of wish that it wasn't I kind of wish they would just give us another flex instead of a defense, but that's another conversation for another day. Just checking the weather real quick in Cincinnati on Sunday because we're going to talk about that game. Yeah, it's gonna be nice weather. Okay, never mind. Denver at Buffalo. For me, this is a pretty straightforward game. Philip Lindsay. People aren't going to probably catch on to this as much as they should, but Philip Lindsay started kind of taking over like the lead, not the lead back, but Philip Lindsay got like 65% of snaps last week, and he got 16 carries and 2 targets against Minnesota. Obviously, Minnesota's an elite rush defense. We do not want to target them, but this is more of a spot where we would want to play Philip Lindsay. Buffalo's defense is weak, and it's a really good price tag, 5,200 for a guy who catches passes. Gonna probably stay in the game during the red zone. You do probably have to worry a little bit about Royce Freeman coming in and vulturing a touchdown, but I like Philip Lindsay. Last week when I saw that report before kickoff that Philip Lindsay was going to be the lead back, my ears kind of perked up and I said, "Ooh, that's interesting." But I can't play him against Minnesota. No can do, obviously. But this is Lindsay is. I have one lineup made so far right now. I'll probably have more as Sunday rolls around. Lindsay's on my team right now. He's on my team right now. I like Philip Lindsay here. But this is a pretty interesting range of running backs. We're going to keep talking about this range. It's like 4.5 to like 5.5K range of running backs. One of those guys is going to have a big game. You're going to need him to win the million. Like I always tell you guys on this channel, I don't care that most of us probably aren't making like $1,000 worth of teams. We're always trying to win the million. We're always trying to get a big win here. So I like Philip Lindsay. Good matchup. I like this. The only downside with Philip Lindsay is back-to-back road games for Denver. We know that this is kind of a spot with teams back-to-back on the road. Kind of a spot it doesn't mean you don't play him. It just means you got to pause a little bit and say, Denver's been a decent team this year. They really have. Most of their losses are by 1 score or less. They only had the Kansas City game that was a blowout. So Buffalo's been beating up on bad teams. I think Denver's like a mediocre team. I don't think they're that bad. They should have won last week at Minnesota. Maybe this is like I don't know. I like Lindsay on the other side. I really don't like anything on Buffalo's offense. I like the defense, though, because I'm not sure how good Brandon Allen is. He's looked good so far, but, wouldn't shock me if he had a terrible game sometime soon and Denver started saying to themselves, hey, man, it's time to start thinking about drafting another quarterback. So, just the Buffalo defense here. The Giants at the Bears. Interesting game here. Interesting game. No one's going to go to this game. It's the 3rd highest total on the slate. There's some injuries and value to be had. Really cheap price tags, reduced salaries for a lot of guys in this game. This is a sneaky game. This is a very sneaky game. On the Giants side, I believe Ingram and Ellison are out. So that really, and Shepard coming back from a concussion, that makes me like Golden Tate. I like Golden Tate here. Another guy I like is Saquon Barkley at 7,900. Saquon hasn't been playing good this year, man. Hasn't been playing good this year. He's not doing good in pass protection. So we need to kind of dig a little bit more into this. But Tate and Saquon and the Giants firmly in play. I'm not playing Daniel Jones on the road in Chicago. Not happening. Even though the Bears defense, I'm not afraid of it. Not exactly the spot I want to attack. Now, coming on Chicago, a little tricky because the Giants are just one of these defenses. They're bad against everything. They're terrible, man. With what they just did with Trubisky here, man, at Sunday night, I don't see them leaning on Trubisky. I think they're going to try to pound the rock with David Montgomery. Of course, we don't know the status of his injury. He might be pretty banged up. I mean, he did get decent touches. So I wrote down Allen Robinson in Montgomery. But I don't know. It's so hard to go to Allen Robinson, man, being tethered to Mitchell Trubisky. It's just really hard. I mean, he had a nice game against Green Bay early in the season. Could have had a way bigger game. He had a nice game against Oakland, but that was with Chase Daniel. And then he had the game against New Orleans where they were just playing catch-up the whole time. So I don't think I'm going to go to Allen Robinson. Honestly, I was going to say Taylor Gabriel because Giants get beat on vertical pass plays, but man, I just don't want anything to do with Trubisky. If you want to take that shot in tournaments, I got no problem with it. But we haven't seen them connect on downfield vertical passes all year. So it's just really tough. I'd probably play Montgomery here if I was going to play anything. And man, I'm not sure. I don't know if I like Montgomery that much. Cohen killed the Giants last year. He had a monster game last year against the Giants. You could play this from the angle if you think Trubisky's going to get benched and Daniel will come in, I mean, a little crazy of an angle, but not preposterous. I mean, definitely could happen. So this is a tricky spot, man. You guys know I'm not going to lie to you and tell you the Bears are a tough side to hone in on this week. Really tough. This whole range, this 5K range of running backs, has a lot of potential guys. I'd probably play Lindsey over Montgomery, but I don't know. It's tough. This is a tough spot. I'm not gonna lie. This is a tough spot trying to pick up what the Bears are gonna do, because the only thing they've had success doing at home is running the ball. Like, we've seen them at home. You know something? I think the thing I would play here is Montgomery. They're going to try to keep this ball out of Trubisky's hands. I don't think they want to. The Giants aren't going to be able to shut down their run game, in my opinion. But, you guys do whatever you want to do. It's not something I feel strongly about. I'm just going to go to the next game. We've talked about this game too much. It's a sneaky game for fantasy upside. I could definitely see this game hitting the over. And I could definitely see this game being a boring, low-scoring, horrible game. This game has a lot of different outcomes. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. I know I said originally that Samuels was a lock if Connor was out, but the problem now is that Benny Snell is going to play, it sounds like. The only thing on Pittsburgh I'm gonna mention is the defense at 4K. Ryan Finley is terrible, man. I mean, he's officially just trash, man. He's not a good quarterback. He's so bad. On the Cincinnati side, I actually kind of buy in a little bit this week to the Tyler Boyd squeaky wheel narrative. I know Finley is just a train wreck at quarterback, like I just said, but he gets a good matchup here. The Steelers get kind of beat up by like those short, choppy receivers. Boyd has big games against zone defenses in his career. Most of the big games he's had were against zone defenses. So I like Boyd. 5K, good price range. I think he's like 12% owned right now. So definitely can see him having a good game. The only problem is you're tied to Ryan Finley. Don't know if I like that. Coming on the other side, I don't feel good about this. It's not something I'm telling other people to do. But guys, I always tell you, when we want a cheap defense, we want them at home usually. So I get the Cincinnati defense on one of my teams right now at 2,100. Don't feel good about it. Probably won't go there Sunday, but it's on my team as we sit here right now. Mason Rudolph is horrible. This is something with that whole debacle that happened with Myles Garrett bashing Rudolph over the head with the helmet that kind of got lost in the a talking point that kind of got lost. Mason Rudolph is horrible, man. He is so bad. He is atrocious, man. This game is going to be the game of just two bad quarterbacks. I don't know what's going to happen. This is a game. Definitely see the under hitting here. Doesn't mean that a receiver can't have a nice game like Boyd. Can rack up a lot of catches, yards, maybe sneak in the end zone. But I think both defenses are in play here because both these quarterbacks are just terrible. Just terrible. Moving on. Miami at Cleveland. I don't know if you guys have seen in the comment section of the last video, but me and Ramal have already been talking about this game before he mentioned it first, but I was already keen. I already saw this game and I already liked this game because of the whole Garrett and Obajobi, or however you say that guy's name. They're not playing, and Michael Lombardi said this on the Monday edition of his podcast that Cleveland's going to have a lot of trouble stopping the pass because they're not going to generate any pass rush. So love this game to hit the over. Love Fitz to Gesicki, and love running it back with some combination of the Browns. It's tough to say though, man, because I wish I could tell you guys exactly like who to play in the Browns. It's just tough, It just is. I'm sorry. It's a revenge game for Jarvis Landry. Beckham has been getting so many air yards lately. He's bound to turn and he's into a big game. So I like Beckham a lot. I have a weird feeling Beckham's going to get right here. Definitely can double stack Baker with Landry and Odell. Also, man, I kind of like Kareem Hunt a little bit. I don't think Kareem Hunt at 56 is the worst play in the world. Could go Ryan Fitz to Gesicki, run it back with Hunt or one of the receivers. I don't hate that. I don't love it, but Hunt catches a lot of passes. All he's gonna have to do is have a game like he's had and sneak in the end zone, and he'll hit value, but he can bust a big play. Chubb at 8,100 not catching passes. I mean, Chubb's the type of guy that I think he's a little too expensive, a little too high owned for his price tag in his role. He had, I think, no catches last game. That's tough, man. That is tough in a game they were leading. That's tough for me to swallow, man. I don't think I can play Chubb in this spot. So yeah, I love this game. I know I mentioned a lot of guys, but I just like this game overall. Carolina and New Orleans, another interesting spot here. So I'm not playing McCaffrey this week. I don't like this matchup at all. I actually like going right back to DJ Moore here. I like going to DJ Moore here. He's emerging as a really good receiver, man. And we have to watch the status of Marshawn Lattimore. But if Lattimore is in, it would probably put me more onto Samuel here. But if he's out, I kind of like Moore because I think Moore is going to go up against PJ Williams, maybe. I'm going to have to do a little bit digger. I'm sorry, guys. I've been kind of busy with school, but I like one of the Carolina receivers here. Pending the Marshawn Lattimore news on the other side, love Alvin Kamara this week. Alvin Kamara is in a great spot here. I like Alvin Kamara. Good play. Good play. The Oakland at the Jets, guys. I mentioned this game on the original first look thingy we were doing, reviewing the games of the past week. A lot of weather concerns now. It's going to rain Sunday at East Rutherford, New Jersey. So I loved Robbie Anderson originally in this spot. I still might roll him out there. It's a great matchup for him, man. But maybe with the rain, they go to the shorter, more conservative pass game. Le'Veon Bell is projected right now to be the highest owned running back on the slate. I don't know if I could do that, man. Le'Veon has not looked good this year, and the Raiders' rush defense is not that bad. But it's a West Coast team traveling east. I love the Jets in this spot to win this game. Love the Jets in this spot to win this game. Maybe the defense of the Jets. The defense of the Jets ain't bad. They can force some turnovers, but it's just tough, man. We're gonna have to get more news in the weather because I don't really know on Oakland. I'm not even gonna recommend anything on Oakland. I just don't think Hunter Renfrow. I like his price tag. I just don't know if he has enough upside at 4,500. To get you a 20-plus point game. I mean, maybe the Jets get beat deep, kind of like deep on the outside. They don't get beat up from the slot very much lately. Their slot corner has actually been playing really well. Could play Waller. Don't really love it though. I kind of like Gesicki more than Waller, and I like a couple other guys at tight end that I'm going to mention later. So this is tough on the Oakland side. I kind of just like the Jets side here. If weather permits, I like Robbie Anderson. If it doesn't permit, I kind of like one of the other receivers, Demarius or Crowder. Kind of tough. Crowder's been balling out lately, man, but 6,200 is tough, dude. He's going to have a 25-point game to pay off his price tag. That's hard to ask. Kind of tough to ask him to do that. Moving on, Seattle at Philly. So I like Philly in this game to win. I don't like Metcalf. Originally, I was thinking about Metcalf, but on the road, Philly's corners have been playing better. They got Darby back or somebody back, and they've actually been playing pretty good against the pass. I wouldn't stop you from playing Metcalf. It is a dream spot for a guy like him, deep on the outside against a team historically like Philly that gives up a lot of deep outside passes. So you can play Metcalf if you want. I'm probably not going to, but on the other side, I like the Philly tight ends here. At the Philly Titans, a lot of people are going to play Miles Sanders, but there was news today that Jay Ajayi is going to have a big role here like a notable role in this spot. So I don't know about Miles Sanders. I kind of like Ertz or Goddard. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. I don't know who to play. I'd probably play Goddard, man. I think I'd play Goddard just to try to save the money, but like Goddard's upside is like 16 points. I don't know if I want to pay $6K for Zach Ertz. That's a lot of money. He's gonna have a 25-point game. Well, if Alshon Jeffrey misses, this will make it a lot more tempting to play Ertz. But for right now, let's just key it in on the two Philly tight ends. One of those two guys. I'll probably specify more in the Saturday update. As always, guys, beneath this video on Saturday afternoon, I go in and if you guys even care, I mean, it doesn't mean you guys have to follow what I'm doing, but I just specify anything I was unsure about in this video. Because like always, guys, we need more news. News is going to drop Saturday and Sunday more. Well, mainly Saturday, and we're going to have to go with the news and tune up what we're on. Detroit at Washington. This game has some fantasy goodness in it. I have a weird feeling Detroit's going to win this game. I don't know what it is, but I see Detroit winning this game. I don't know what it is. Detroit, I like Marvin Jones and Bo Scarborough. The reason I don't like Kenny Golladay is just because Marvin Jones does better against man-to-man coverage, and that's what Washington plays, I believe. Yeah. I don't love it, though, man. I have a feeling that I don't know why, but I think Bo Scarborough finds the end zone this weekend. I just do. I don't know what it is. Doesn't catch passes, but it's not a big deal at that price tag, man. That's not that big of a concern. Um, he looked good against Dallas, man. I think they're gonna run the rock on the road. I don't think they're gonna ask Jeff Driscoll to like win them this game on the road. I think they're gonna feed Scarborough. So I like Scarborough more than Marvin Jones. I like him more than Marvin Jones. On the other side, I love Geis as a player. Like I'm gonna be all over him next year in best ball drafts, and they're gonna run the ball here. Try to run the ball against this woeful Detroit rushing defense. But I'm just not sure about the volume. Like I think Geis is a good. I'm gonna say it again. I think he's a good player. I like Darius Geis, and I'm not saying they're not playing. I just worry about the volume, and I just worry about the Redskins game script. Those are the. If you took if you told me Geis can get the volume in the game script, I'd love him here at 4,700. I would love him, but it's a little bit of a mystery, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. You can play Geis if you want to. I wish Trey Quinn had more upside because this is a great spot. It's 3,600. I have him on a lot of my best ball teams. Horrible pick by me. Should go lay in traffic for that pick, man. That was a dumb low upside pick by me. I bet he's a nice kid and a good player and a good football player, but man, I don't know why I didn't pick Terry McLaurin over him. That was a dumb decision, but that's for another day. We'll make that video another time if anyone's interested about the mistakes I made this year in season-long fantasy. That will probably come after the season if anyone's interested in that. Sorry guys, just hit a button by mistake. So this is one of the last games. Jacksonville at Tennessee. Guys, make this real simple. Derrick Henry. For Jacksonville, man, they said they wanted to recommit to Leonard Fournette. I just can't do it. Last time he played Tennessee, he barely managed to get like 1 yard per carry or rush attempt. Like I'm just not playing him in this spot. You know, he's more of an I formation running back with Nick Foles. They go more out of the shotgun, and last week they were going a lot of 4 wide because out of the shotgun because they were trailing to the Colts. Can't play DJ Shark here. Don't hate that. Who's their other boundary receiver? It's not TD Westbrook. Chris Conley. I don't know if I want to play Chris Conley. If you can, if you want me, he's probably going to get matched up on Malcolm Butler. I don't hate Chris Conley or Shark here on Jacksonville. On Tennessee, it's Henry, and I don't even hate the defense here. If you want to play Tennessee defense, I don't hate that with Simmons back, I believe. Dallas at New England, the final game on the slate. Interesting game here, man. I have a weird feeling. I mean, I don't want to say the Cowboys are going to win this game because I'm not positive about that. I could see it, though. I could see Dallas winning this game outright. It's hard to go against New England at home. I know how good they've been, like 65% against the spread the last couple of years at home. I don't know. On Dallas, I like Cobb, I think, the most. Cobb has been balling out lately. Belichick's going to take away the over the top, and they're going to make Zeke run right up the middle. You can play Zeke if you want, man, but Zeke just hasn't looked good this year. If you believe in Zeke, 7,500. Between him and Saquon, man, that's so tough. I'd probably go Saquon, but I don't feel great about it, man. I don't feel great about it. Because I just feel like the Cowboys are going to keep this game really close. But I think Cobb for his price is a better play. And I think Cobb isn't very high owned right now. I think he's like 7% owned. That's not bad at all. Zeke, on the other hand, just hasn't shown the same burst and explosiveness. They haven't shown their ability to really consistently use him in the passing game. Tough to pick. I don't know. Not going to tell you to not play Zeke. I'm probably not going to play him, though. On Patriots side, I like one of the running backs here. And I don't hate the Dallas defense at 2,300. I don't hate them. I don't hate them at all. It's going to be crappy weather Sunday up in New England, where I'm from. I live right around the stadium, and it's going to be crappy weather Sunday. So I don't hate this Dallas defense, but it's just got no teeth to it, man. You're just kind of hoping that they get you like 7 points at 2,300, which they certainly could do. They get maybe a lucky pick 6, but I don't really love that. On the New England side, I like both running backs here, Sony Michel and James White. I like Sony Michel's price a lot. I liked it a lot more at first glance. The more I dig into it, the Patriots just haven't really been pounding him that much lately, man. They might elect to here because that's a big weakness of this Dallas defense is their rushing defense against running backs. Okay, they do give up a lot of catches to running backs too. New England offense looks anemic. I kind of, it's a tough man. I one of these two running backs will probably have a decent day though. It's hard to see. The problem with Sony Michel, man, you're going to need 2 touchdowns. Just that simple. I don't see him getting 100 yards against the Cowboys. I think his knee's really bothering him this year. He doesn't look like the same player. At first glance, I really liked him, but the more I think about it, the more I'm probably going to pass. And if you're paying $2,300 for James White, I mean, you can get Philip Lindsay in a similar matchup for 100 less. And, I kind of like Lindsay's upside a little bit more. But Dallas does give up a lot of They give up a lot of receptions to running backs. I think they're. Let me check this real quick. This is the last game in the slate, guys. I apologize. I think they're top 5 in the NFL in reception given up to running backs. Let me just check this and we'll wrap the video up. No, so they're top 10, but they're not top 5. So, guys, I'm gonna wrap the video up here. I don't want to keep going on and on. So, pretty interesting slate. If I had to summarize it, I would just say, guys, you're gonna need one of the 3 game, probably one of the 2 games we talked about. Mainly, I like the Cleveland game. I love that Cleveland Miami game. I'm going Ryan Fitzpatrick on all my teams. I love Ryan Fitz this week. And I think you're going to have to pick off an explosive playmaker from another game in like the mid-range because I'm locking Julio into all my teams. And I'm going to either lock in Kamara or Derrick Henry to all my teams. That's why I really want to play Robbie Anderson here. I really, really, really do. But maybe you can save money, go to Demaryius Thomas, and get like a decent game from him. I don't know. We're going to have to talk about this more, but I'm trying to identify a receiver in that like lower middle range that I think can get me like a 25-point game. And when I do, I will let you all know in the Saturday update. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your support as always. Don't forget to leave comments below. Let's have a big week this week. Let's keep it going, and let's win some money on Sunday.